Welcome back to the Fit4DigiLinE course. This is Module 6, How to help the learners create their own digital materials. And specifically, this is part 2 and the final part of this module, which will be focusing on digital presentations and other digital files. So, as mentioned before, the tools that you will need in this module so you are able to then help your learners create the digital materials have already been presented in other parts of this course. Specifically, in Module 2, you will find detailed information about mind maps, flashcards, comics, and other useful materials. Also, in Module 4, you will find some games that your learners can incorporate into these exercises. So make sure to check those first and then come back for the rest. In this module, we will be using a lot these tools, which are Canva, Office 365 with Word and PowerPoint, and Adobe PDF. In this part of the module, we will see how we can help our learners plan an imaginary trip, start an imaginary business, and then also create some posters and a classroom booklet. Planning an imaginary trip can be an amazing exercise for the whole class. This includes a lot of different skills, from research, meaning reading and writing, to presentation skills such as speaking, and will greatly improve their language level on vocabulary and grammar as well. Planning an imaginary trip will also help your students understand in depth the culture of the target language's country. This could also motivate your students to actually visit the country they will be presenting. They can work individually or in groups, but we would suggest using groups for this one, as it is a more time-consuming exercise and they will probably need some help. Ask them to check for real-time prices, tickets, hotels, and any requirements for entering or staying in the specific country. They will have to include very detailed information and they will have to do very specific budget planning. You could give them a specific budget, or they could come up with their own amount they would like to spend. The timeline is also very important. When are they leaving? Will they be taking any trains? Are the tickets for a direct or transit flight? Your learners will have to do this exercise as if they were actually going on this trip. The first step for this exercise would be the research. Then they would have to write everything down, design the document in a nice way, maybe using Canva, and for the last step, they would have to present their plan to the whole classroom. You could even hold a small competition, and the best team would get to present their plan, their trip plan, to another class. Another fun idea that also includes a lot of different skills and is somewhat time-consuming is planning to start an imaginary business in the target language's country. Your learners will once again have to be very specific. What is the business and why? How did they choose the specific area? Does this area have any needs that they want to cover? Have they done any research for the already existing businesses there? The possibilities are endless, and you can make this exercise as complex as you want it to be, so you will be able to adapt it to your learner's level. They will have to check for requirements, meaning what do they need to be able to work there for a specific time, how much is the rent for a business like that, and any other detail they will need. Once again, they will have to work as if they were actually starting a business in the target language country. The steps are the same as before: research, writing, design, and presentation. Here they could also incorporate some extra material. For example, they could create their own company advertisement. It could be a video, so for that make sure to check Module 6, Part 1, Video 2, or a leaflet that can be created in Canva. An idea for extra material could also be creating a menu or a catalog. We will now see what a menu can look like. This is a nice idea for a combination exercise. In this case, the learners were first asked to create promotional videos presenting traditional products from their own country. Based on that, the teacher decided to take this exercise a step further. What would the learners do if they were invited to the target language's country and would have to present their products? Some of the learners decided to organize cooking workshops, while others decided to open up cafes and restaurants. Here we can see a detailed plan of Japan's way, a souvlaki restaurant in Japan. And this is a cafe, a Japanese cafe that the learner would open in Thessaloniki, Greece. The learners also had to decide if they wanted to stay in a hotel, hostel, or someplace else. And they went with the cheapest option so they could save up some imaginary money. This is a poster presenting the traditional products that a group of learners would be in charge of. A traditional cloth called samedaki and a traditional dessert. They also included details on when the workshops would take place, as well as some prices. So again, all of these exercises can be a combination exercise and you can incorporate as many digital resources as you want. Here we have some more menus. Products. Menus again. And that's it. In the end of this digital booklet, the learners shared their thoughts about this experience. And this can be another idea. You could ask your teams, your learners, to take interviews from the rest of their classmates. And this could also turn into a video clip that could be shared with everyone in the end of the year. Posters are a great resource and they can be adapted to anything you might want. You could ask your learners to create grammar points with the most important things they have learned in the specific week, month, or even year. They could present their hobby, or they could create a classroom booklet for the end of the year. The classroom booklet can be a very nice touch, helping with the bond of the learners and also testing and improving their language skills. They could include photos or any other digital materials they have created. They could interview the students of the whole class, and they could also interview the teachers. This can turn into a nice digital gift for the end of the year for everyone. Thank you. This was the end of Module 6.